See the same thing you hit play on? You hit that again and it'll pause it.
Alright, good.
Okay. I'm going to set this back here. Cause it'll go. But look, I want to show you something that's gonna knock you out here. This is, I found Big Mama.
What?
Yes, I did. I found Big Mama, your grandmother.
Oh, wow.
And so this is, her name was Lucinda
Lucinda
McCoy.
McCoy, right.
And she was the head of the household. And they lived in Lake Arthur, Jefferson. Well, let me see. This is in 1920. They were living in Louisiana. And Nelson McCoy is her husband. He was 36. And they said that Nelson McCoy, your grandfather, was born in about 1884. And they were living in Lake Arthur, Louisiana. Now, get this. Lucinda McCoy, she spoke French. Yeah, they're saying, native tongue. They're saying her native tongue was French.
Okay.
And they owned their home where they were living, and it was mortgaged. And this is the year 1920. This is the 1920 census. So they owned their home, and you see and there's Nelson McCoy again at 36 years old. This is your father's father.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, your father's father. So I've been looking for them, and I found them, and so I found somebody again in 1911. And who was
1911.
this? Yeah, 1911. Who was this I found? Yeah, see?
1911.
Look, Nelson McCoy, Lucinda McCoy, Clifton McCoy, Lethan McCoy.
Oh, my uncles.
But who is Lorene McCoy?
I don't know. Never heard of Lorene.
Isn't that so? It's Lorene, Lorene McCoy. Now Lorene McCoy. It must be Lorraine, because this is a son. So these are all Daddy's brothers. And if you notice, I met Clifton. I know Clifton. And Lethan.
I know Lethan.
This is Lorraine.
I don't know.
And if you notice, your father hadn't been born yet, and neither had Uncle EJ. Not during this. This is the 1911 census. Yeah. So they weren't born yet on here.
No.
So then I found another census, and this one is Nelson McCoy. Oh yeah, 1920. I mentioned that one. So it's just really,
it's real interesting.
Yes, I was able to track them down.
I'm seeing some things I didn't know.
Yeah, like Lorene McCoy.
Lorene McCoy, I don't know who that is.
He was one of their sons. Maybe he died. He didn't make it, And so...
Some of them I do know.
Clifton. And look, I even went so far to find Lucinda as a baby.
That was my grandmother.
I found her. This writing is so tiny, but I found her as a baby on the census over here. I was trying to find out who owned her, but it was,
It's like this is go back to slavery time.
Yes, it does. It does. But she was a French-speaking woman, and so I was really, it was hard to just find some good information on her. I'm going to have to go to New Orleans, they say, because there was a fire that burned up a lot of the records. So, which is why I couldn't find a lot of
What
stuff.
about the Mormons, just for the record?
Yeah, the Mormons records.
Did you have anybody before 1863 that was documented?
Well,
sound like they were the next generation.
Yeah. Well, 1860, because slavery ended in 1865.
1863.
1863?
That's why they celebrate Juneteenth.
Okay, well, for us it was 1865.
Proclamation was actually written in 1863.
Yeah, 1863. That's terrible.
Because now, let me tell you something. Because guess what? Abraham Lincoln got to live 2 more years, but that's why he was killed.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how crazy it was. You know, they killed him because he signed the he pushed it forth. There's a whole movie about that now, about the 13th Amendment. You know, which is really what.
Okay, so now here, this is what's so interesting right here. Now here I find Nelson McCoy again. Now by this time, Nelson McCoy from Louisiana, married, had a household. He had moved to Beaumont.
Okay, that's not my father.
Your father. No. Is your I think it was you're still your grandfather. Still your grandfather. Look, this is still your grandfather because see.
What year?
Look at this. So this is what's interesting. The birthplace of your grandfather is said to be North Carolina.
But my father?
Your grandfather, the one I said,
my grandfather.
the
Okay.
Surgeon McCoy, North Carolina. And see here, well, you're right. So you're right. This is your dad, cause you're right. So by that time, your father was born. So no, I'm sorry. Let me correct myself. This is your grandfather that moved to Beaumont.
Okay.
By that time, your father was born. Here he is, Nelson
Beaumont.
McCoy.
Age 40.
Wait a minute. So here he is, Nelson McCoy. He's 10. What's that? No, he's 19. And Uncle EJ, Elijah McCoy, is 6.
Yeah, so that's Beaumont.
6 years old. So they show up in Beaumont in what year is this? What year did I tell you this thing was? They show up in Beaumont in the around. Well, this says it's kind of murky. It looks like this says 1890, but it could be 1890. I hate it. No, he was born in about 1890, 1894. Yeah, I'm not sure the date of this. But, and then they had the exact street where they lived. Isla Avenue.
What, boy?
Isla, I-S-L-A Avenue.
I never heard of it.
Yeah, Isla Avenue is where they lived. And they were renting. And they were renting.
No radio.
Yeah, they ask you if you had a radio. It says no radio set, no farmland, or anything like that.
First marriage. What?
Able to read, yes. Then he says father's birthplace, North Carolina, and that's the gentleman I was telling you about, Surgeon McCoy. So let's look here and see what I have. I took a picture of a lot of this with my phone because it was just too much paper to be trying to carry around.
Okay.
This is when the same thing when they moved to Beaumont. I'm trying to see the year. It's not telling me the year, but the bigger document, which I can go back and print, it has the exact year.
Oh, did they move to Beaumont? Okay.
See, so here's Lucindy McCoy. So Lucindy McCoy is your grandmother, born in about 1892. She's a female. And so, Isla Avenue, and she was 16 when she married, according to here. And her birthplace is shown as Louisiana. Her mother's birthplace is Louisiana too, Lucindy McCoy.
Okay, now also my father's birthday is shown in Louisiana too now.
Right, yeah. And they said that she was a laundress, right, and for a private family. So that's what she did. And by that time, again, your father, Nelson McCoy,
Lucindy McCoy.
EJ and all of them were born at that time, by the time they moved to Beaumont. So again, this is Lucy. Okay, so this is, here it is, it's 1930. They're showing up in 1930 in Beaumont, Texas. So we know that
So in other words, they left Beaumont.
they left Louisiana.
Louisiana to move to Beaumont. Well, we know that anyway.
Yeah, they moved, but here it's showing by
What year?
1930 they were already there. We don't know the exact time they moved, but we do know in the 30s they were already in Beaumont. So one way to know is to check the census in 1910 to see if they were in Louisiana or Beaumont. But one year those records got burned, so we just don't quite know about it yet. So this is still 1930.
You see, rather if I was still traveling, See, we could go to
Go to those places.
New Orleans, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Wouldn't
gonna
be- wouldn't be
go.
no problem.
I'm gonna go. So here's what's interesting here. Now here's your here. See, I was wondering how your sister, my mother, got that name Lucille.